and welcome to the HOHNER Harmonica Workshops. Workshop C07, Tuning. Many people are surprised to learn how easy it is to tune harmonicas yourself. As reeds will sometimes go out of tune, and as you need to tune replacement reeds or fine-tune replacement reeds, it's really an invaluable skill. It has great musical value because it means that your playing is going to sound a lot nicer. So we would like to explain to you how to do it. For this workshop, you need the following tools: the reed lifter with reed wrench, the tuning scraper, the hook tool, and of course the tuning file. In addition to these tools, you will also need a chromatic tuner. Of course, you can use any commercially available chromatic tuner, but we suggest that you use what we're using here, the HOHNER Harmonica tuner. This is available as a download from the HOHNER C shop. In this workshop, we're going to show you how to tune individual reeds. This is the same process that one uses when tuning entire reed plates, but the idea here is that you can correct reeds which have gone out of tune or fine-tune replacement reeds. Chromatic harmonicas are tuned to equal temperament, which means that the octave is divided into 12 equal semitone steps. This is the same system that's used on the piano, and it's also the way that most chromatic tuners are set up. As with all reed adjustments, it's very important to plink the reed with the reed lifter at regular intervals while you're tuning. This helps the tuning value to settle, and it means you can measure the results much more easily. In all tuning operations, we recommend that you proceed with care. Use minimum pressure, and after 2 or 3 strokes of the file, it's time to check the tuning value again. Before you check it, always remember to plink the reed. There are 4 fields on the display of the HOHNER Harmonica tuner which are relevant for our purposes. The first one shows the note which is being played. A equals 440 Hz is equivalent to A4 in international parlance. Each semitone is divided into 100 cents, and this display shows the cent deviation from the programmed value. Now we're going to set up the basic intonation value so that we have a clear starting point for our tuning. We're going to program the note value to A equals 443 Hz. This sounds a bit sharp, but there are 2 reasons for doing this. The first is that the pitch of the note drops when you put the covers back on, and the other is that the air pressure of the player will also cause the intonation to drop slightly when playing at normal volume. The 4th field, which is of interest to us here, is at the bottom. This is an analog display which shows the deviation from the programmed value. This is helpful in recognizing the tendency of the change in pitch of the note when you're tuning it. When tuning harmonicas, we recommend that you always play the note that you are trying to measure on the tuner at minimum air pressure, because if you play it louder, you will cause it to intone lower than it will if you play quietly. This will falsify your readings. So remember, always tune with minimum air pressure. If you don't play the notes with minimum air pressure and an open throat position, you will tend to bend the note down, and this will falsify your readings. There are 2 basic cases that we will have to deal with when tuning notes. Either the note is too high or it's too low. And we're going to start with a note that is too low because usually they go flat through playing. So we'll start with a note that is tuned lower than the value that it should have and is mounted on the outside of the reed plate because this is the easiest reed to reach. This is a note which is clearly too low. As you can see from the display, this note is intonating at about -22 to -24 cent below the value which it should have. So this is how you go about it. Taking the reed lifting blade, you slip it under the tip of the reed, about halfway along the length of it, and then file from the tip towards the rivet slightly diagonally to remove material from the surface of the reed at the tip. After a few file strokes, it's time to snap the tip of the reed so that it can settle the tuning value. This is an invaluable process which is used on all reed work operations because it helps you settle the tuning value of the reed. Now you can measure it again. Now we're going to see what the tuning value has changed to. So it's come up somewhere between 8 and 10 cents, but we need to take it up further. When you're learning to do this, we recommend that you only take a few file strokes before rechecking the tuning value, because it's quite easy if you take off too much material to go up or down too far. Now the note is sounding at the right pitch again. Now we're going to show you how to tune a note which is mounted on the outside of the reed plate, a draw note, which is too sharp, how to tune it downwards. This is fairly seriously sharp, so we're going to tune it down. So to tune the reed down, we once again slip the reed lifter under the reed to support it and prevent it being pushed into the slot. And then, using the scraper, push it towards the rivet at the back end of the reed to carefully remove material from the surface there. This makes the reed slightly more flexible, so it lowers the pitch. And now we've got it tuned down to exactly the right pitch. So we've shown you how to tune draw reeds up and how to tune draw reeds down, which, as you've seen, are located on the outside of the reed plate. Now what we're going to do is show you how to tune blow reeds. They are rather more difficult because they are located on the inside of the reed plate. And first of all, Gabi's going to show you how to tune a flat blow reed up to pitch. This is clearly flat, so we're going to tune it up. In order to make it easier for you to see what's going on here, we've removed the wind saver from above the slot. The first step is to slip the tip of the hook tool inside the channel opening at the front and very carefully push the tip of the reed up through the slot. Then you can catch it with the reed lifter, slip the reed lifter under the tip of the reed, and then you have a working surface so that it doesn't slip back again and you can file it. And now Gabi removes the hook tool from the slot and can work on the tip of the reed. Exactly like tuning a draw reed, basically. There's a couple of things you need to watch out for when doing this. The first thing is not to damage the valve, which is over the other reed, the draw reed, in the same hole, because it's right next to the reed you're working on, but you can't see it. And the other thing is try not to scratch the mouthpiece with the file while filing material from the tip of the reed, as this will make it rather rough on your lips and spoil the appearance. As the reed's on the inside of the reed plate, it's not possible to plink the reed. So what you do is play it sharply a few times. This stabilizes the tuning value because the reed has to work a bit, and now we can measure the tuning value again. Unfortunately, she was a little too enthusiastic and we've gone a bit too far. So we can now use this wonderful opportunity to show you how to tune a blow reed down. We once again use the reed scraper and pushing it towards the rivet, we take material off the back part of the reed surface. It's important here not to use too much pressure on the surface of the reed because this can push it away from the reed plate and increase the offset, which we don't want to do. In exactly the same way, when you're tuning draw reeds, you don't want to use too much pressure because you can push them into the slot and change the offset. So now we've tuned the note down again to its correct value. When you've had a bit of practice at tuning reeds, you'll find that it's possible to tune blow reeds even when the valve is affixed to them. And Gabby's going to show you how she does this. Slip the hook tool once again into the channel opening and lift the reed under the valve. Then, with the file, you slip that under the valve as well and work on the tip of the reed. If you want to tune a blow reed down when the wind saver is on it, you do it like this. Lift the wind saver, slip the scraper underneath it, and push carefully towards the rivet end to remove material. You have to once again be careful here not to alter the offset in the process.